We are here with Anne Stradell at the Orleans Historic Society, and she's going to help teach us about the history of Orleans. Can you start by when was it established?
Established, well, we want to go to the very, very beginning.
Oh, definitely. Go.
We're going back as many as 14,000 years.
Ooh, okay.
When the Nauset tribe of the Wampanoag Nation lived here.
Okay.
Fast forward to 1602, when Bartholomew Gosnold, who was an English explorer, came over. He made it over to Maine, and then he maneuvered his way down and said, "Oh, look at all the fish," and called it Cape Cod.
That's where the name came?
That's where it came from, yes.
Wow, never knew that.
Martha's Vineyard also did too, because his daughter was Martha. Anyway, so then 1605, Samuel de Champlain, the French explorer, saw all these encampments on the Nauset shore, and it turned out that was the Nauset tribe who lived there. So then we get into the Mayflower. That's the good stuff. In 1620, one of two families who survived that first winter. It was half of the people on the Mayflower died. One of the families was the Stephen Hopkins family, and he had a daughter named Constance. Well, Constance met Nicholas Snow, who came over on the Anne in 1623. They got married and had 12 children.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I know. It gets better. Anyway, in 1644, Plymouth was sort of exploding, and they wanted more space. And they looked at the Nauset area and decided to give it a shot. So in 1644, 49 people, 7 different families, came over from Plymouth, the only ones to come over directly from Plymouth. And they set up what was originally Nauset Plantation, and in 1651 became Eastham.
Oh.
But Eastham grew and grew to the point where in 1757 it was in 2 different parishes, and the South Parish wanted to take off by themselves. So they separated and became a town of their own. So along comes this fellow, what do we call it? Obviously we've got an Eastham, what do we call this South Parish? And the great-great-great-great-grandson of Stephen Hopkins, Isaac Snow, said, "Let's call it Orleans," because in the Revolutionary War, he was a prisoner of war twice.
Oh, really?
Escaped from an English jail, made it over to France, where at the time there was a revolution going on, and the Duc d'Orléans was a big deal. He was for fraternity, equality, and all that magoo. And so, and of course there was Lafayette too. And so they said, okay, let's call it Orleans. So ours is the only un-English name on Cape Cod. And that's how we came about.
Well, very good. So now, I know you've got quite a bit of the things that go on or have gone on. Can you explain what took place here from that time?
Sure. This meeting house was built in 1834, and it was the meeting house of the Universalist Church. There were a lot of ship captains who were in the Universalist Church, and they were the ones who funded the construction. So then...
So I just got one question. So the parish was here, but not this meeting house. Was there another meeting house before that?
An original one, yes. Would have been right around Town Cove.
Okay.
That was when it was Eastham.
Yes, okay.
And then when it split, it really split, and we had an Orleans of its own. So this was built in Orleans, and it went on for quite a while until the numbers of parishioners began to dwindle. And so it joined forces with the Congregationalist Church and became the the Federation Church, which is right down the street. And the Federation Church was the one that did the adult services. And this became the home for the Sunday school.
Well, like the parish house almost.
Yes, yes. And then in 1971, the Federated Church, the Universalist Society, the Federated Church, donated the building to the Orleans Historical Society.
Ah.
So that's why we're here where we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so what else went on in Orleans?
Well, we had a salt works of substance.
Oh.
Think all these fishermen needing to preserve
There.
the fish, and they would evaporate seawater in salt works to preserve the fish, and that was quite an operation for a while until around the Civil War.
Okay.
Speaking of Civil War, in 1865, the Old Colony Railroad eventually made it to Orleans, and that changed the complexion of the town completely. It went from a fishing industry to a tourist industry.
Okay, that early. Wow.
So,
And so, was there? I understand there was a ship that was out that they used to bomb.
well, there were two actually.
Okay.
This was the only town in all of the United States that was bombed in two different wars.
Really?
The War of 1814 and World War I.
Wow. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, in the country, the whole country.
Really?
The one in 1814 was down by Rock Harbor, and the British were trying to keep Orleans from moving their salt out.
Oh,
So they were blockading,
interesting.
and they didn't want, they threatened to blow up the salt works if they didn't get their way. Well, Brewster took the bait, and they paid the ransom, but Orleans didn't.
Really?
And Orleans fired back, and
I like that.
for which reason the motto of the town is defiant but self-reliant.
I like that too. That's very nice.
So in World War I, there was a submarine off of Nauset Beach, and there was a tugboat called the, what was it? Perth Amboy. And they shelled it, and a whole bunch of people came out on the beach and raised holy heck. And they went away. It was a German submarine off of
Wow.
the coast of off the beach. We have a lot of artists
Yes.
in this area. I can show you a couple. The one right here, that building is a house that in town that was drawn by Vernon Smith, and another Vernon Smith is the Jonathan Young windmill.
Oh, the windmill.
Right.
Yes.
He and another artist, an entirely different kind of artist. His work is over in the case there.
Oh, definitely.
Peter Hunt. we had exhibits on both of these people.
So what do people do now? What's your population? Is it
About a little less than 6,000.
6,000? And mostly retired people? Or do you have a...
We have the highest age population in Massachusetts.
You do?
Yes, we do. But we're smart.
You're what?
We're smart.
Oh, definitely.
No,
No
no,
problem.
no.
I'll agree with that.
No, the population is the highest educated
Oh,
of
really?
anyone in Massachusetts. So we might
Interesting.
be old, but we're smart.
Well, I might agree with both of those things. So, anything else you could tell us about this town?
It's a nice place to live. It's a very nice place to live. People are friendly, and that's a good thing in these days.
It is, very much so. No, it is.
We have other history.
Okay.
I'd be amiss if I didn't mention. In 1952, out of the Coast Guard station in Chatham, there was a tanker called the Pendleton that wrecked and was in need of rescue. The people from the 36-500, 4 of them, coxswain Bernie Weber and his 3 crew members, went out in 60-mile-an-hour winds and 40-foot high waves.
Oh, my goodness.
And in this little 36-foot boat, which is why it's 36-500, that's
Wow.
very small. And they rescued 32 people from the tanker.
32 people.
32 people from the tanker Pendleton, when it was only good for 4 people, and they got 32 more in the rescue section.
And they brought them back all?
They brought them all out.
32.
32.
With
yeah.
winds and that.
So
wow.
for that reason, the 4 crew members were given the Coast Guard Gold Medal,
You should.
which made the boat a gold medal boat. And to this day, it is the single most important rescue mission in Coast Guard history. So, as of 1981, the Historical Society has owned the boat.
Oh, really?
And it's housed in the summer at Rock Harbor, and then it's put in a berth in Meeting House Pond, which is not too far from here, in the winter. So the water there is bubbling, so it's got a wooden hull, and so you can't. It's a
Wow.
wooden boat, so you can't let it just sit there
No.
in the wintertime.
It'd rot.
So the big push is because it's 78 years old, it was built in 1946. They're hoping to have a permanent home, because eventually they have to take it out of the water. And so that over there is the
Oh, yeah.
the mock-up of what the building might look
Oh.
like.
Wow.
So that's the next big push for the
That's a
historical-
big push.
for the
And
Historical
where will
Society.
that be?
That would be right across from here.
Wow.
We have 3 centers. A couple of years ago, they gave it a working name of the CHO, the Centers for Culture and History in Orleans.
Okay, yes, that was something we were going to drive by. So.
And the second center, besides the meeting house, is the Heard Chapel, which was built in the cemetery and as a memorial for a family, Heard family. And they ran out of room over there, so they brought it across the street and put it on the corner here. So that is now the repository of the Historical Society's archives and also administrative offices. So we've got 3 buildings, with this other center, of course, being the 36-500. And both the Meeting House and the 36-500 are on the National Register of Historic Places. We have outdoor things in the summer, get some food trucks.
Oh, that's nice.
Everybody has a good time.
That's good. Do you have concerts or anything or
Yep.
not? Good, good.
Lots of concerts. That's a concert grand.
That's very nice.
And it's-
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you. We were debating what is under the white outside. It's covered with a white, it's right out here.
Oh, the buckboard.
The buckboard, yes.
Yes.
We were trying to figure out what that
You
was,
know, you
okay.
can't just put that any old place. Takes up a lot of room. So it's covered up for
Right.
the winter.
Winter.
Time. Yeah, yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Unless we missed something.
I hope so.
Okay, thank you.